Hey guys, good morning, and I hope you had a great Easter. Let me share with you a quick update of what I was able to get done this weekend. The first thing I'll show you here is I optically scanned the new display and carefully modeled it here in Rhino. And there's a lot riding on this display, so I thought it was really important to both build it and verify it that the critical dimensions are accurate. So I built a 3D model and confirmed that. I also built a radius guide too, which is kind of fun to kind of make sure the radiuses were correct. But anyway, you're going to see it in the assembly here. Let me go to a shaded view here and tell you what I think is a good philosophy. So the blue piece here that you're seeing would represent, it's a simplified reference of the base. So obviously the springs and all that have to be added in. We'll carry those things over. But for purpose of conversation, what I'd like you to consider, I think this might be a good approach, is with the lens, with the old lens concept that we had, there was an affordance of a kind of a gap tolerance here between the physical active part of the display and the exterior. That was kind of bridged by a nice display that kind of hid any delta there. But with this new display, and when I talked to John, JC, we and I talked about having the active display glass be outward facing, and that's actually what the end user would see. So I wanted to be very mindful about the gap that would exist between the display. In order to keep that tight and looking like a precision build, I think we have to change the philosophy a little bit here to have that display frame be integrated into the base. And you know, we could put a radius on this thing, right? So imagine there's a radius here. Let me just throw something in here real quick. Right, so when the thing goes together, there would be a parting line on the housing, a tight parting line, and this whole piece would travel up and down. So this, when the part comes apart, this whole part travels. And that will make it such that we can hold any of those gap tolerances that might be wooggy in this display area. We can keep a nice tight fit here and then kind of create kind of a bypass here where this part, I built way past, by the way, if you're seeing this. It's easier to build beyond and then trim back. So this is, absurdly bigger than it needs to be. So this line might get a lot closer, but we'll see where that lands. Maybe between the two outriggers that by the feet, right? So that's the latest plan. And then I built this piece on the interior here. And this piece, I'm still working on. I have to work on the fits there, kind of tuning it, but come to the 3D model. There it is you see I kind of broke it, but that would hold the display in place. It's also has affordance for this connector. Kind of hard to do on camera. There we go, actually got lucky. And then John, you and I can bridge off of this piece to hold that floating board that we talked about. I can put a feature on there to kind of hold that nice and tidy, so that could be pretty cool. And then in regard to the display direction itself, I'm just going to bend this piece out since it's already broken. I'm object orienting the display so that this is north, right? And I need to know that because that all depends on where the connector is, right? So if we could flip the image on the display 180 degrees, and you could decide what side is north, right? That could get this connector on this side and thus a lot closer to where it needs to be. Otherwise, she has to kind of snake over and around to this side. So John, JC, if you and I can connect on that today, that'll help me identify next steps. But this piece is printing, and the good news is here is like the hard part's kind of done. We already got this thing kind of modeled accurately. So I'm building this piece to kind of give her a go and see if everything fits in the assembly. And my objective is by end of day is to give you this kind of working buck that you can kind of build and test on, right? And while I'm refining the assembly to kind of bring in those other features and rebuild it to accommodate this much larger display. So I think the display is going to be cool. I haven't gotten to adding the strings on the music. It's on my work list for this week, so I'll get back to you with that also. But for now, That's a quick Monday morning update. Hope you guys are having a great day. Talk to you soon.